We're at Pea Ridge, Arkansas Battlefield. It's about 6 a.m. catching sunrise. It's going to be beautiful. We'll give you the facts a little later because I don't know all of them here. We'll study it, and then we'll try to put some facts on throughout the tour today. We are at Pea Ridge National Military Park Battlefield in March 7th and 8th of 1862, early in the war. There was, this was one of the very few battles where the Confederates actually had more people. They had around 16,000, and the Union had a little over 10,000, like 10,500. And the Union was able to win this battle and kind of hold the Confederates out of going into Missouri at this point. This openings over here used to be a tiny little town called Leetown, in which they were hauling a lot of the wounded soldiers to the houses as basically hospitals and things like that, where a lot of them were dying around in this area. But yeah, we pretty much have the battlefield to ourselves, and we're going to continue on. This was a cornfield, first parts of this. There was about 7,000 Confederates in the tree lines along the back. The Texans were back there. General McCulloch, he had kind of rode that tree line to get kind of a final scout. He was a very popular general. He was shot dead, and they didn't know it for a little while. And then when they come to find out, the second in command, McClintock, I believe I got the name right, he was leading the charge, and he was killed. The Texans lost momentum, and the Union was able to hold off the charge.
There's a deer there eating that tree. Keeps pulling that down. We're at Pea Ridge Battlefield. Jumping these Civil War fences. Now we got him on film eating. Really cool.
This is called the Elkhorn Tavern, which the Confederate and Union troops had passed through here at different times. Also, the old road of the Trail of Tears had gone by here, so it was kind of a well-traveled road. During this time, also they called it Telegraph Road, and so essentially some of these armies, they were fighting for the services of the telegraph. Now we're fighting for Verizon Wireless and AT&T and those type of communication lines. But then the Confederates were really wore out. These guys that had marched, the Confederates had marched in here for 3 days. It was below freezing temperatures, and they hiked 60 miles in 3 days. They were starved, hungry, and cold, and I'm getting wet and hungry myself. But it's been a great battlefield. I think they should call this the Buckhorn Saloon, because we have seen deer everywhere. And I just filmed another deer that jumped one of these old Civil War fences and was eating on the tree, so that's pretty cool to see. Beautiful battlefield. It's really well intact. It's worth seeing. This is a beautiful countryside with the rock formations and beautiful white oaks and trees, and super green and lush through here. So well worth seeing. Get your families out and see some Civil War battlefields. We are in Rogers, Arkansas, and I got my daughter Natalie here that I'm picking up, and she's gonna tell you a little bit about the museum we just went in.
So we just went into the Daisy BB gun museum, air rifles. Let me be more clear. Daisy air rifles. So I just want to tell you a little bit about the history, like what I learned just literally 5 minutes ago. So the Daisy Air Rifle Company actually started out as a windmill company. It was called the Plymouth Windmill Company. It started around in the 1880s.
Out of Plymouth, Michigan.
Out of Plymouth, Michigan. Let me clarify. In Plymouth, Michigan. So they started making these windmills, and they didn't really advertise them very well. So their sales were getting down. They were also very heavy to like transfer. I mean, this is the 1880s. And then this man came up to the windmill company and was like, "Can you produce this air rifle I created?" It was all steel, just like what they were using for the windmills. So the windmill company already had the tools. So then the windmill company said basically that they were going to produce it for a year and then see how it did. And if it didn't do well, they were going to stop producing it for this man. So a year later, sales like boosted, and then the windmill company changed their name to the Daisy Air Rifle Company in 1880 something. All because of these air rifles, and they no longer made windmills. And the reason it's called Daisy Air Rifles, I found out, was one of the directors at the windmill companies went, that's a daisy, and daisy meaning it was neat, it was cool. So, and after that, they just made it, exploded the market. At the time, there were actually 3 other air rifle companies that were making stuff, and Daisy just dominated the market. And then throughout the years, they just helped with the war efforts during World War I, World War II. They make rifles that help with drill training. So yeah, we just went in there, and it was really cool. The displays are awesome. It's very clean, very eye appealing. So yeah, that was fun.
Hi, the museum entrance cost is only $2 per person. I ended up dumping about $176, and I bought 2 130th year anniversary BB guns, one for me, one for my buddy Romero Rodriguez. He's getting one, and they only had 30 left out of 500 original made. So if you want any more, you better get online and order them. It'll probably cost you a few more bucks to order them offline, but pretty cool. They also make, if you want your own personal gun, they'll engrave your name on a stock with the Second Amendment on the side, and I think you can probably get that for less than 90 bucks. Hey, I'm at Pigtail Harley Davidson. Is this Rogers, Arkansas?
Rogers, Arkansas.
Rogers, Arkansas. This is Bill. I met his wife, Jennifer, and lo and behold, come to find out, this guy was from, he lived in Delton, Michigan for a while. I lived there for a couple years when I was a little kid. They also had property up near Mesick and Manton area. So anyways, super nice people. They got tons of bikes here. This is a fantastic area to ride. You got any tips for the area? Or?
Yeah, come down to Come down to Northwest Arkansas, Rogers area. We have the Pig Trail, Eureka Springs. It's great riding. Hit Highway 23, or you can go up to Mount Magazine, the highest point in Arkansas, and you can see for miles up there. Get above the Eagles. Anyway, stop down and visit.
Fayetteville, Arkansas, Lucky Luke's. Really simple menus, really good prices. I'll post those in the video here coming up. I had the half smoked chicken, baked beans, corn, $10, and then a Coke and good service. What'd you have, Natalie?
I had the Lucky Luke special, which was just a large pulled pork sandwich, corn on the cob, and then beans.
For $7.77.
Yes.
You can't beat those numbers, 777. So anyways, this was recommended to me from Jennifer from the Harley Davidson dealer back in Rogers, Arkansas. That was a good visit and good recommendation on the barbecue. So now I'm full, we'll hit the road for some more. Across the road from Prairie Grove State Park. It's a Civil War state park here in Arkansas. But we noticed this across the road. We didn't know if this was a crime scene. They got everything taped off, phones, construction going on, and it's a historical marker, 1959, that the telephone booth has been in the National Register of Historic Places. So I guess if you have a quarter, call somebody who cares. So I just thought it was interesting that this is on a historical register. It actually works. This is a walking tour on the Prairie Grove Battlefield here in Arkansas. Really nice trails, huge, huge trees. Beautiful park, it's a 1 mile loop. He said it takes about an hour. Up on top of this ridge, and you can see artillery up here and the Confederates up here, and then we're facing the north this way, and General Herron, who come up, they had marched 3 days on a forced march, did 100 miles in 3 days. He's way off in the distance. He decides to come this way, to come up this hill and attack the Confederates at around noon that day, and the battle goes on for about 3 hours, and his division starting to get beat down. General Blunt, to be blunt, is off over on my left this way, and ends up backing him up about 6 o'clock that evening, which the fight pushes on up further into the orchards. This battle had about 22,000, about 12,000 for the Union, about 10,000 for the Rebs. And this house here, the Borden House, was burned down the day after the battle. It was rebuilt about 10 years later, the Borden Farm. I mean, this wasn't Happy Valley, this isn't Hidden Ranch, this was burned down dreams, carnage, about 2,700 people dead, about 800 people wounded after this fierce fight in December 7th, 1862. Brian Ferguson here. He's a local. Funny story is he's been doing some time up in Montana, which is my wife's stomping grounds. My brother lives up there, and he's got a story of his two uncles who fought at this battle.
I had one uncle, his name was John, and I do not remember the other one. I think it was Samuel.
Okay.
I believe it was. The
Yeah.
one that fought for the North.
Yeah.
And he had fought at Pea Ridge.
Yeah.
And when the troops come here.
9 months later.
9 months later, my other great uncle, whichever it be,
Yeah.
they ended up fighting each other. Yeah.
Really?
Brothers.
Did you have any stories of where they were able to write each other or see each other?
They ended up in the same hospital at a lady's house in Van Buren when they pulled back.
Wow.
The lady took them in and nursed them back to health. One ended up passing away.
During the from the battle wounds?
From the battle wounds.
And then
one come back up this way and out east of Fayetteville, a little town called Baldwin. Out
Okay.
of White River.
Okay.
And that's where he settled in, and that's where my dad's family.
So which one survived? The guy in the Union side or the...
It was the one on the Confederate side.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So he didn't help him out any at the end? No. I'm just teasing.
Yeah, I'm just the opposite.
So today we were able to see Pea Ridge Battlefield, which was from March 7th and 8th of 1862. 9 months later, we're looking at December 7th of 1862. These two battles were only about 45 minutes apart driving-wise. I highly recommend getting out and seeing these. This one is free. The other one's part of National Park Service, which is like 20 bucks for a day pass or whatever, and that's for everybody. So get your families out, see these historic spots, hike these trails. It's good exercise, fresh air. It's actually beautiful scenery in both spots, and get some barbecue somewhere in between. And this is a beautiful slice of Arkansas over here on the east side. We're not that far from the Oklahoma border. So if you like these videos, please click subscribe, hit like, share with your friends. Thanks for watching Adventure Roads, and we'll have more videos soon.